to say Rick Stepley.
Welcome back, everybody. It is the PM Show with Larry and Nancy Manetti. Guys, stay tuned for the movie report with Will Link. Will, what are we talking about today?
We're going to be talking Zero Dark 30.
Yeah.
Wow.
#1 movie in America right now.
Big one.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's
Just
a good
don't talk about Jodie Foster.
I think you're talking about Jodie Foster.
You just brought that up.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk about this. Yeah, we'll talk about this later in the show.
I want to talk about where Larry's going.
Well, we watched the Emmys, and they were wonderful.
They were the Golden Globes.
The Golden Globes. It all goes into one, you know. It's the Academy Awards. It's all the same stuff, just different names.
That's true.
But, you know, I mean, I was disappointed. I think that she's a wonderful talent, but, you know, leave your dirty laundry and everything at home. I mean, we don't need to hear all that stuff.
I thought it was heartfelt what she said to her mom, though. I mean, my mother had Alzheimer's.
Different. That's different.
Well, that was part of her speech. Hello.
What is it? Was this Dame Drop when you were little? Did you bounce off a radiator or what?
You can't be talking.
You know what I would like to say about the Globes? I thought Tina Fey and Amy Poehler did a phenomenal job.
Fabulous.
They should host everything. They were fantastic.
Hey, but who was she supposed to be, Tina Fey? Who was she supposed to be when she came out with the wig and the mustache?
Oh, because
was that Johnny Depp?
I think she was trying to be a Johnny Depp-esque actor because they were doing those fake nominees where she'd be in the audience, and I think that was supposed to be some Johnny Depp-esque kind of character.
Larry didn't get those were fake actors. He went, "Who the hell is
I never
me?"
seen that guy. Has he got a SAG card?
It was a joke, honey.
I know. What are you? I told you, 2 radiators you bounced off. What's it? Hey, Cahill, how are you, girls in Chicago? Sammy boy, how are you?
Guys, without
Dennis Farina, how are you?
Dennis Farina, good friend of the show.
He's going to be on New Girl tonight.
Oh.
Yes, he is. That's right.
Well, speaking
Yes,
of
with Zooey Deschanel.
Oh, my God.
that'll be a good one.
One of my favorite sitcoms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DVR that one. Guys, on the line right now, we do have our special guest, Michael O'Neill. And, boy, what can I not say about Michael O'Neill that hasn't been said already? He took time out of his crazy busy schedule to join us here on the show. Hey, Michael, how's it going, buddy?
Larry, it's so nice to be with you guys. This is the best part of the schedule right now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And we're honored to have you, Michael. And I tell you, we love you on Vegas. And I have a friend on there, James Russo. Do you remember Jimmy?
Oh, James is wonderful. Yeah, he and I spent a lot of time together when we were shooting the pilot. You know, and I've kept up with him. You know, he's in Django Unchained. He's wonderful in that.
Yeah.
I didn't see that yet, though.
He's
a sweetheart. He's a scary guy.
Yeah. He is a scary guy.
Yeah, he drops that eye on you, and you've been an accounting assistant.
Yeah, he's a sweet man. And you're here with my wife Nancy and Will Link, who's the man who tells us all about movies.
Hi, Michael.
And
Pleasure to have you with us.
It's my pleasure.
So Nancy, I want to know, do you have any questions? You can go right off. She's been banging me all day here, Michael.
Larry, people aren't supposed to know that.
It's going to get colorful, isn't it, Nancy?
Oh, I'll tell you. You give him one sip of coffee, and he's off to the races. Anyway.
Speaking of the races, talk about Seabiscuit. Yes.
Oh, that wonderful film. Well, I'm a big animal lover, but I love Seabiscuit, and I loved you in Seabiscuit. What a wonderful role.
You know, probably my favorite film that I've ever worked on.
Really?
Yeah, if you think in context, it was the first film after 9/11, Nancy, that celebrated the resiliency of the American people.
True.
And people were standing and cheering at the end of that film. And it certainly was about the film, and it was about the horse, but it was something about the American spirit.
Were there many doubles for that horse?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, in fact, there were times, Larry, that it made it so difficult to film because you can only run those horses for about 12 minutes.
Wow.
And then you have to cool them down.
Wow.
So the scene where I give my son away at the racetrack. That little
yeah,
dirt
great
track.
scene, great scene.
Thank you. But it took about 12 or 15 hours to shoot the scene.
Oh my!
Just because we would have to break, and you get in that emotional state with that boy, and then boom, and then you say, okay, got to stop, got to wait.
Ain't showbiz glamorous?
Yeah. Yes, it is. It's
Boy,
colorful.
you had to run to the roach coach a lot, because I don't know about you, but when I do those kind of scenes, I get hungry.
At the end of the day, yes, at the end of the day, I would have eaten furniture without salt.
Yeah, I know. They're laughing. That's true. You either eat a Snickers or a cup of coffee.
You have to
and keep
excuse
going.
my husband. He thinks only of food all the time.
Well, no, he's thinking of other things. He's already talked about that.
Oh, that's
Energy,
true.
yes. Yes.
Oh, and you've been on NCIS, which is one of our favorite shows, and one of the, I think it's held the top ratings for I don't know how long now.
Years. That's the happiest cast and crew I think I've ever worked around.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Oh, yeah, they know what they have, and they enjoy one another, and they just keep putting out great product.
Now, Michael, how did you start your wild ride? I mean, you've been doing TV and movies for quite some time now. When did the bug finally bite you? Were you sitting at home one day watching some of your favorite TV shows and decided to get into it yourself, or how did that work out?
I say this in all honesty. I got dragged kicking and screaming into a better life. I was an economics major in college. I thought I was going to graduate school and then go to work for a bank or something. And I had written an address that Will Gear, the character actor that was the grandfather on the wall,
Yeah.
he happened to hear it on tape, and through odd circumstances. But he said, anybody know how to get in touch with this fella? And they said, yeah, he's in Auburn, Alabama. He said, call him. And he called me and said, son, I think you should try acting before the corporate structure snaps you up.
Okay.
And I said, Mr. Gear, I don't know anything about it. He said, come to California, I'll work with you.
Wow.
And he did, right?
And he did. I got in my car. I didn't even know where Hollywood was. I mean, I literally, I was confounded by it all. But he let me do young Mark Twain and young Robert Frost and young Walt Whitman and
Wow.
young Woody Guthrie, and we just did these Americana things, and he was a great teacher, a very, 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 very bright man, and sort of a walking lexicon of the history of
Was this one-on-one?
Well, we did. The family had a show of Americana that we would do different characters, but sometimes Will and I would just do the young and old character together. We would go off to a college campus somewhere and just do those two characters. In fact, at the University of Texas, when they opened the LBJ Library, we did a bit of Americana to open that, and he knew that I had learned everything by rote. If he said this, I said this. If he said this, I said that. And so in the middle of the Twain portion of the thing, he threw me a Frost cue, and I just spiraled. You know how that feeling when you don't know what to do, you're up. Yeah. And on stage, it feels like it's probably 7, 8, 9 minutes and counting. And then I sort of collected myself and responded with something. And the minute we walked off stage, he said, son, all of you has to be out there. You got to be alive. You got to be thinking. You can't it's not just about what you've memorized. So it was a wonderful lesson.
What a great mentor he was.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Wow,
wonderful
lucky.
teacher. Yeah, I was very, very, very fortunate. His daughter Ellen really taught me to act. She was my first teacher up in Topanga Canyon. So that's what started it. And just, like everybody, I just bit the stick and held on.
Guys, hang in there. We're talking with legendary actor Michael O'Neill on the PM Show with Larry and Nancy Manetti. We'll be back right after this.